hear me out. When we look at the relationship that husband and wife is compared to in that same scripture you talk about, Ephesians 5, it's compared to Christ and the church, right? Mm-hmm. So the model relationship that reference is made that we should be seeking to look like is Christ and the church. We should not. Christ and the church doesn't model itself after how men and women do marriage. Right. Men and women do marriage based on how Christ does with the church. Mm-hmm. So to put that in perspective, in order to understand that dynamic of husbands be or wives submitting to your husbands, the first dynamic you have to understand is, how does Christ treat the church? Okay, if the relationship is how men treat women, we're always going to say this is toxic because historically in this patriarchy, it's been terrible. Yeah. Right. Women have been suppressed, getting voting rights not until 1920. Like we can go down the line. That don't even include black women. Don't let me start going down.
And women not being able to have a bank account until like 1975 or
like
something crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So like the whole idea kind of messed up what we were supposed to model after. The model is Christ's church, right? So follow me. If that is our model, then how we view the word submit can't be through the scope of how men have poorly treated women. It has to be through the scope of how Christ has treated the church.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? So if we look at how Christ has treated the church, and we see Christ as this domineering, controlling, non-supportive, legalistic, tell you what to do all the time type of spirit, then that's how we're going to interpret how the husband should treat the wife.
Dang.
But if you look, if you look at Christ as a forgiving, loving, partnering, communal, encouraging, sacrificial figure, that's how you look at how the husband should treat his bride. Yeah. So if we shift our mindset from how men have historically treated women to how Christ biblically has treated the church, our idea of what it feels like to submit. We regularly go to church, and a lot of people do it because they feel close to God. You will willingly do and connect with who's quote unquote the person that's the head of your household. Yeah. If they're partnering, if they're encouraging, if they're protective,
feeding
if they're loving, if they're feeding into you, if they're encouraging, if they're telling you you're amazing, if they're supporting your vision, that's how I see Christ. Yeah. He doesn't tell me don't dream. He says, here's the dreams. Go for it. I'm supporting. I'm here's what I want for you. But if you don't want that, I'm never going to force you. He's not forceful. So any man that uses the word submission to force, Christ doesn't force the church into anything. Yeah. So any man that uses the word submit to force his wife to do anything, he's wrong.